Sí, ese es, recuerdo las ventanas paralizadas. Ese es el que nos sacó de la carretera. Este lugar es una fortaleza. Vamos a necesitar más gente. Los juntamos y los atacamos esta noche.
Uh-oh. What the heck was that, John Wick? Welcome to the Binge List. So I'm going to make today short and sweet. I'm downloading Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4, so I got my gaming Jones. So I gotta satisfy those Joneses. So hopefully this won't take too long. This episode is sponsored by Smirnoff Ice, Green Apple. No, really. I wish they would sponsor me. But boy, I'm not supposed to be drinking alcohol because of medical issues. But man, I know as a man I'm not supposed to like these sugary, girly drinks. But man, woo, Smirnoff, y'all got the stuff here. Oh boy, I hope my wife doesn't see this, but she doesn't watch the show, so I'm probably safe. Anyway, I haven't posted on Better Call Saul in a while because man, these last two episodes have really confused me. We had an episode called Talk. What can I say about this episode? It seems like they were trying a little bit too hard. I know I was like clapping when they did the whole Better Call Saul vibe, but at the same time I was just totally thrown off by that whole scene of the Salamanca twins raiding the rival gang's turf and just killing everybody. Some of which they don't even show you. You see it from Nacho's perspective, so you're not sure what's going on. But it was kind of hacky, kind of just generic action movie type stuff. And even in the original Breaking Bad, the one complaint I saw from people is that whole scene where the Salamanca twins blow up the immigration truck and they're walking. I don't know whether it was in slow motion. Probably was in slow motion, but because they always do those stupid walking away from an explosion without looking at it shots. They did one of those shots in Breaking Bad. It was probably one of the only times in the original series that you kind of felt like it was kind of corny because it's just such a generic action movie motif. And Breaking Bad was always promoted as sort of more realistic. Although I have to say that a lot of the stuff that they scientific stuff that they did in the original Breaking Bad has been disproven. There was a you remember Mythbusters, that show that used to come on? They had a whole show dedicated to Breaking Bad where they tested, the stuff like using sulfuric acid to decompose a body in a bathtub. They debunked that. You can't do it. So don't try that at home. I read an article about some guy who actually tried to do that, and his neighbors reported him because 10 hours later, after he tried trying to just break down the body in his bathtub with sulfuric acid, it still wasn't gone. So it was creating a smell that his neighbors reported to police. So don't try that at home, folks. It doesn't work. Also, I think there was a whole thing where Walt throws down it wasn't meth, it was something else. I don't remember. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. That scene with Tuco that blows out the windows of Tuco's hideout or whatever. They did a analysis of that on Mythbusters, and they said, nah, it would have killed everybody in the room, basically. If the blast was power enough to knock out the windows, it would have killed everybody in that room. So anyway, my point being is, even though Breaking Bad seemed to be very realistic in a lot of aspects, it wasn't. And that whole Salamanca thing was one of the things from the original series that made it that way. And they kind of went back to that with Better Call Saul to kind of disastrous results, I thought. Anyway, moving on. The character motivations were really fuzzy until the episode After Talk, and I'm totally forgetting the name. Let me see. Quite a Ride. So the character motivations in Talk were kind of all over the place. You had Mike going to the support group with his daughter-in-law, and you can see in that scene he's kind of panicking when it comes to him actually revealing his emotions when he's listening to his daughter-in-law talk about his son who's dead, and he deflects from those emotions by exposing a member of the group. I thought that was interesting. I don't know necessarily where they're going with this, how it's going to affect Mike in the future. I guess they were kind of making a statement on how Mike, he kind of does things to deflect from what he's feeling. And a lot, because you saw that in the episode where he was sitting back contemplating his old age, I would say, and he started, he broke into Magical and started his whole security consultant thing. So we saw shades of that, and we saw shades of that in Talk. I really wasn't convinced that they were fully into this arc with Mike. I think it felt kind of like a little bit of filler. I hate to say, because I love this show, but it did feel like filler. The whole thing with Jimmy. God, I almost forgot his name. Jimmy taking the job at the cell phone store was another way a character was deflecting from what they were actually feeling, because at the start of the episode, Kim was trying to get Jim to go to a psychiatrist, and that was his way of getting out of that by saying he had a job. So he goes on this job, there's no customers, and he's another character that just can't sit around waiting for things to happen. He has to make things happen. So we see him paint the window with a message and trying to draw people in about, is the man listening? Get your privacy here, something like that. So we see that play out in Quite a Ride with Jimmy going, into the back streets of Albuquerque. Is it Albuquerque? Yeah, Albuquerque, to sell these cell phones. And he's back to what he does best, not necessarily scamming people, but hustling. Because I don't really see the scam. He might be selling the phones at a little bit of a markups. But, he's hustling these phones. And we see him as he is, which is the hustler, the con man, whatever you want to call it. And in this episode, Mike is pretty much back to work. He got put back to work by Gus. And we see them start to interview people to build the meth lab, or at least the cavity that the meth lab will later be built in. So that was kind of interesting, but like I said, like with everything with these last two episodes, it kind of felt like filler. Do we really need to see them recruiting a guy to dig a hole? Do we really need to see Jimmy sell cell phones? And then with Kim, of course, I finally think I figured out what's happening. She was feeling uncomfortable in the last few episodes with her place working for this bank. So now we see her trying to break out, possibly. Maybe it's due to some guilt, some residual guilt she has about Chuck. But we see her sitting in the courtroom at the county courthouse, and Neelix from Star Trek Voyager, who was playing a judge in that episode, has a talk with her, and he knows that she's looking for something to do. She's looking for something to assuage her conscience, to bring meaning. And he correctly surmises that that's exactly what she's doing in his courtroom, and she's going to put her to work if she continues to do so. And then in the next episode, we see that, yes, that's exactly what she was trying to do. She's taking on some cases. It looks like pro bono, which means for free in lawyer speak. But she's helping some kid who threw a brick or something through a jewelry store window. So we can kind of see the setup. The setup is she feels conflicted about where she is. She needs meaning in her life, and she goes after that meaning, and it's going to drive a wedge with her and Jimmy McGill, and possibly push him into his persona of Saul Goodman. So it's, interesting stuff. Not particularly mind-breaking stuff. They still have, a few episodes left in this season. They might surprise me. I don't know. But I was really at a loss of what I want to say about these two episodes. And man, I put it out this long, and I still don't know whether I actually like the episodes. Maybe I need to go back and watch them, but I felt a little let down. Felt a little bit let down, I'll just say. That's it. So that's about it for Better Call Saul. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. I don't have to be right. But there might be something I'm missing that you guys at home have picked up. Just as an aside, we have season 3 teaser for Daredevil. I did not like this teaser. I wanted Bullseye. Bullseye is rumored to be in this season, and I want to see Bullseye. So the fact that they didn't show me Bullseye really upset me. And okay, it was just a teaser. The one thing it did reveal is that Daredevil was alive, of course, because at the end of the Defenders, if you saw that, I think he was, or was it Iron Fist? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. I think I had an impression that he might have died at the end of the Defenders, but I might be wrong about that. Anyway, that is definitely going on my binge list, Daredevil Season 3. And it should be on yours too. Because Daredevil is awesome. And, you know, the Ben Affleck version aside, they should make another movie and put him in the MCU. But, you know, his skill set is close to that of Spider-Man, which I am going to play in a few minutes. Yes. But, yeah. I love Daredevil. And I forgive Marvel or Netflix or whoever, Sony, who owns Spider-Man. I forgive them for this whack teaser. And I look forward to seeing the rest of this season. And that is it for the binge list. So I will see you when I see you.